The holiday season is the perfect time to ramp up your social media game. Yes, it is now August if you're watching this video today. However, holiday season promotions start now. It doesn't start in October or November. Yes, you can get last minute clients, but what you do in August can help with starting the momentum with getting your business seen. So with everyone talking about the power of social media, this is why I thought it would be a great topic to talk about how to get the word out about your company on social media. But there's so many platforms and it can be confusing as to where to start. So you want to stay tuned because I'm going to break it all down for you, covering the best platforms, content ideas, scheduling tips, and engagement strategies. So let's jump into the conversation for today. Hey there, Greeneyed Ambition community. Welcome back to my channel where we discuss all of the unsexy but essential parts of running a successful event industry business. I'm Jessie and I have over 14 years of experience in the event industry. So we're going to dive into a hot topic and it's going to be all about how to use social media to promote your holiday party events and services. So let's first talk about the platforms. Each one has its own strengths, and let's do a quick review so that you know the three main ones. And I use all three in my own business. Of course, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I do know some people that use TikTok to grow their business. Again, it just comes down to where your client is located, the type of services that you have. So even before we start jumping into how to use the different platforms, the first thing I do want to mention is that you have to know where your clients are and what type of content that they're consuming on each one of those platforms. Like for myself, I tend to promote a lot of my business because I do corporate events on LinkedIn because that's where a lot of the decision makers are. I do use Instagram inside of my business because that's where some of the gatekeepers tend to watch and view, and it kind of like the proof of concept platform. However, again, if you work in the private sector where you're doing social events and things like that, you may find that most of your clients are going to be on Instagram and TikTok. But if you have a more mature audience, they're actually on Facebook. So you need to know where your people are, as well as what type of content they're consuming on those platforms. So the thing that you do want to remember, Instagram is fantastic for visual appealing content. This is just proof of concept. So if your business tends to get a lot of leads from Google My Business, because we want to make sure we're using and having our company set up with Google My Business, I do have a video that I will make sure to link right here for those of you that do not have a Google My Business. But what you'll find that if you do have a Google My Business, people will tend to go to your website as well as going to your Instagram just to see if the photos and what you're presenting are the exact same thing. So you want to showcase the best visibility and the best presentation for your business on those platforms. So be it any events, be it your services, be it content. I know that sometimes people get so tempted to always just promote content that is geared towards others in their industry, not to their clients. So you do want to make sure your client, if you are actively attracting clients, that you do want to make sure that you're also putting information that's appealing to your client, not only to growing a following within your own constituents, because your constituents, unless you're selling courses, they're not buying from you. You want to put content that people are going to be buying from you. So if you're trying to attract clients for your holiday season, you want to be putting out content for holiday season. Facebook, as I mentioned, for certain age demographics, that's where they tend to be on. This is where you can start doing Facebook ads so that you can get more visibility. I've personally have seen people that have had very low following on Instagram, but then when I go onto their Facebook, it's a whole nother world. They have like 60 plus reviews. They have a lot of client engagement because that's where their market is and where they typically are actively engaging with content. So Facebook, you do want to make sure that you're not only showing photos, you can put a good amount of text as well, because again, the demographic on there, they tend to read a little bit more, and you have links that people can click on. Where on Instagram, you have only the links in your bio, where on Facebook, you can have a link right inside of your caption and people can click on it. Then when you go into LinkedIn is great because if someone likes or comments on your post, people that are connected to your circle of influence can then see your content as well. So you want to make sure that if your ideal client are corporate, and you're looking to actively get holiday season bookings in the corporate space, then you can start promoting your services there. And of course, TikTok is really great for visuals and you can get visibility there. But again, you want to make sure you have the proper links that are there. You want to make sure you're putting content that your clients will want to see. And it's important for all of these platforms to get people off of them, because you do not want to just only be looking to get social media famous unless that's what you choose to do. But if you're trying to run a business, it's not only about that. It's about getting people off the platforms, because you can make way more money when you get people off of these platforms than just having them on it. So now that we've gone through these technically four platforms, I want to give you some tips on how to go about creating content that's going to help you with using social media to promote your business. One of the things that I always do recommend for people, if you are someone that likes to just keep all of your photos and videos on your cell phone in this ether or infinite photo album, one of the things I do recommend for people is to use Google Drive, and inside of your Google Drive, have them marked off by months. The reason why this is important, that when it comes down to creating content for specific months, you're not having to guess, or you're not having to spend hours on searching through content to kind of figure out when you were hosting those events. So what we do, and what I've been doing inside of my own event business now for a very long time, is that we have content buckets in our calendar, in our Google Drive for each month. So we have July, August, September, October, November, December. The reason why this is important, because you can actively put out content that is geared towards that specific month without having to always feel as if you're on a content creation hamster wheel. If you are starting today and you have all of those photos, what I would recommend is start trying to sort through and putting them in buckets. So then that way, if you took some really great photos and your skill set hasn't shifted a ton, you can use photos from last holiday season to start promoting and teasing your services on social media. So create you a file and a folder system that's going to make it easy for you to find your photos. And I think that's extremely important when it comes to content creation. I do love creating content on the fly on occasion. However, that's not feasible for me 95% of the time, because I have so many other things going on, or just to create captions. Again, everyone's skill sets are a little bit different than mine, and I don't like that type of stress. So I always like to have a Rolodex of images already ready, so that when it comes down to creating content, that I don't have to do everything on the fly, and I can just plan things more accordingly. The second tip that I would recommend when it comes to promoting your business on social media, take advantage of doing lives. So if you are someone that tends to be at events and you have an extra cell phone, you can do a live while you're setting up. Again, it depends on how chaotic things are, but this can help with giving people a glimpse of what it's like working with you, or all of the care that you take when you're doing your events. So if it's not just only you, this is probably more feasible if you have a team. So someone can be doing setups with you, and then every now and then you can have people ask you questions, because that puts you at the forefront again of people's mind about working with you. When it comes to promotion, this is all about being intentional with every type of post or content that you're putting out there. You don't want to just dump stuff and hope that it sets, especially if you're not someone that actively does networking or outreach campaigns to help with people bringing in, requesting your services, or even ads. So if you're not putting money towards ads, if you're not going to do networking, if you're not doing any outreach and collaboration, be intentional with your social media so that every person you're in front of, they know about who you are and they can see how awesome it is to work with you. Next, you want to remember to stay consistent. Consistency is a must when it comes to holiday season because you're going to be competing with other people in your industry. And most importantly, you're going to be competing with people that are going to be throwing a lot of money at ads. That does not mean that people will not see your content. That just means, again, that you have to be intentional about the content that you're putting out there. So you want to use platforms that are going to make it easier for you to schedule your content. So if you want a free option and all you're doing is using Facebook and Instagram, then you can use Creator Studio, which is a free resource inside of Meta Business platform. So if you do have your account set up as a business account, you can use that. If you're doing TikTok, you can schedule up to 7 days, I believe 7 to 10 days in advance on TikTok. So again, that helps you a ton with not having to do things on the fly. So if consistency is a struggle of yours, use platforms that are going to allow for you to schedule your content in advance. And if you take heed of the tip I gave you about making sure that you are organized with your content in advance, that you can then schedule your content. Because if you don't know where anything is in your cell phone or in your cameras, depending on how you're creating your content or capturing your content, it will be very hard sometimes to be consistent, just depending on what's going on. So you want to make sure that you have it all organized and using platforms that will help you with being able to schedule your content in advance. The next tip that I want to recommend for you is to use a content calendar. This is something that I've implemented inside of my business now for a very long time because, as I mentioned, I know my strong suit is not to come up on the fly with creating content. In fact, it's been times where maybe life things were going on and then it's 10 days into the month and I was just like, okay, well, I'm not going to stress myself out trying to do things on the fly. And I'm like, we're just going to go ahead and start focusing on next month's content. Granted, I've been doing business for a long amount of time. So I don't necessarily always feel the pressure to keep pumping out content because of our positioning inside of the marketplace. But I'd rather not strain my team or myself trying to do things on the fly and then not putting out content that's actually going to convert or help with us bringing brand awareness to our company. So you want to create a content calendar. We currently are using Asana to keep on top of our content. I do have a video that I'll make sure to link here so that you are able to see how to use Asana to create content inside of your business. And I do also have a free resource on ChatGPT. I did come up with a command that will help you with coming up with your content ideas for your business. So the description will have a link for that free resource for you. So click on it and you'll get that. The reason why I thought that this would be helpful because one of the biggest things that I hear from different professionals in the event industry is just how to stay consistent as well as what to actually post. It's not about just putting out anything. You want to be able to have a content calendar where you're intentionally posting content, and it will help you with being clear about what you're talking about and how you're going to schedule when you're the busiest. You may not be as busy right now, so it may seem like, okay, what's the point of this? But then once it gets in October, November, and you're just like, oh my goodness, I haven't posted in a while. That's why, because you haven't taken the time to think through your content calendar. Finally, you want to think about some of the engagement strategies in which you can start to use inside of using social media to promote your business. So social media is all about interaction. It's not just about posting and posting and posting. It's also about how you're engaging, not only how you're engaging people that are commenting underneath your post, but also how you're engaging content from other people. So I want to give you some tips on how to boost engagement inside of your social media presence. So you want to always respond to comments and messages promptly, even if it's just a heart. When someone says a comment, you do want to comment and like a post as soon as you can. This allows for your audience to know that you value their interaction and their input on your post, because that will too help with you building your community, and then also tell the algorithm to keep pushing your content out there, the more interactions that are happening. So even if you wanted to run a contest, or if you want to have a question where people can post what's their favorite things about the holidays, or you can get them to give you this or that. Think about content that does allow for people to engage. So it's not just, again, throwing out photos. Photos and reels are great, but then also you want people to comment underneath, because again, people are putting a lot of ad money out there, and if your content isn't engaging for your audience, then people may not be able to really see your content the way that you're intending. So when it comes to engagement, I would even think to yourself, if you had a special offer or a limited time offer or early bird special, when it comes to promoting for your holiday season, use this as a true marketing strategy. You can start to post about your packages. You can start to post about any of the concepts, any of your partnerships. If you're partnering with a venue or a specific DJ, just really use this time intentionally, because the holiday season only comes around one time a year. So you want to use your social media intentionally so that people know what you do, how you solve their problems, and what makes you unique and different, because that will help you with standing out against the competition. So there you have it, a complete guide on how to use social media to promote your holiday events. And if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to subscribe to the Greeneyed Ambition channel, and you will see some more amazing videos that are going to help you with having a great end to the 2024 holiday season. Talk to you later.